Kia ora everybody, my name's Colquhoun. I'm a writer and I'm really lucky to be able to send a big mihi out to all you guys for your summer festival in Porirua. As you can see, I'm an old bald man. I don't really know what I'm doing, clicking buttons and recording myself virtually, but it's kind of, been a crazy year and people have had to learn to do these things. And so if I do it badly, please forgive me. I'm not a good person for karakia. My prayers tend to go up like those early attempts at rockets and then... And I don't really believe in gods and devils. I believe in human beings and the sky, the earth and the sea. And I suppose instead of karakias, I'm going to share my poems with you. They're the closest thing I have. When I'm not a writer, I work as a doctor and I work with young people. And this first poem is a sung poem in te reo Māori, and then I'll read it to you in English. And I wrote it to a young woman who struggled with her skin. She had quite a serious skin condition. But when we talked, it was like there were the human beings talking, but then our spirits started to chat to each other too. And spirits talk about different things. And it was like small birds came out of us and started to fly around and leave the human beings in one corner to chat and to talk. And I wanted to capture that, and I thought the best way to do that was in a poem. So I'm going to share it with you as an opening karakia. It's called He mō tētea, mō tētahi tai tamahine e whātoro ana tōna kiri. E rā tō mai rangi he tūturu nei ki tā whirirangi. Ka memeha, ka puta ngā aka o tā whaki. Ka puta ko punga, he mata ko kiri. Kei raro I te tumu o Pohutukawa. Kei raro I te wahapu o te moana. He kau pai e haere iho ai. He uhi no te kiko kārere te tirairaka. Mai I te kiri ki te ngākau. Mai I te ngākau ki te kiri. E nei kupu I wainga ia tāua. He rarangi pātai, he rarangi whakautu. Ko ina, era ko ina noa. Ka pahe mō rātou ka puta te ngaro e noho ana I te ata. Hei wai ata ko te manu. Hei wai ata ko te manu. Sonnet for a young woman and her skin. For Katarina. Those clouds passing now over Tāwhirirangi, where they dissolve, I can see Tāwhaki's vines appearing. And who is that? If not Punga in the distance, plummeting out of the sky like a meteor, where Pohutukawa buries his knuckles in the soil. And beyond, there, where the sea opens and closes, I swear I see footsteps. Skin, too, is unreliable. Fantails bob every day between it and the heart. These words passing now back and forth, me asking questions, you answering them. Is that all that is said between us? One day they will grow tired and unravel. One day that child, waiting in shadow, will stumble out into the light and be given voice. So the second poem is a traditional old red poem. And this is a poem, one of my favourite poems I've written to a young person who has struggled with lots of things over the years. And sometimes when people struggle, no one sees it from the outside looking in. They just sort of judge them on their arms and legs, and if they rock up in time for work or school, they don't see what they're fighting against. And I watched this young woman for years struggle with things that other people didn't see, and kept cheering for her and keep waiting one day till she came through, till she showed up in her skin, and people could see what was glorious about her. So this poem, and I like this poem because I got to use lots of stories from when I was a boy that I loved. It's called 1 minute and 27 seconds. I'll read it for you. 1 minute and 27 seconds for Georgia. It is said the Scylla is a monster that lives on one side of a long and terrible stretch of water. She is supposed to have 4 eyes and 6 heads. Each head contains 3 rows of shark's teeth. She has 12 legs and a cat's tail as well, and 6 dog heads ring her waist like a belt. The Charybdis lives opposite her, on the other side of the water. She is a monster too. 3 times a day she swallows the sea out of the strait and spits it back out. This creates whirlpools that suck passing ships underwater. A man passed between them once in his boat. It must have been terrifying when I think about it, struggling to maintain balance, worried all the time whether a jaw might clamp down or the sea pour in, and if all that held between him and the deep would simply unravel. Hannibal was a general who walked his army over the Pyrenees, then the Alps. He wanted to surprise the Romans. They took 38 elephants with them, riding them into battle like great tusked tanks. No one even thought it was possible. They fought landslides and hunger, the cold, death. Half his men were lost. But there must have come a time when he looked down and saw green fields, running water, the sun blinking over the plains. His face might have relaxed, perhaps, and his fist unclenched. Apollo 13 was a rocket carrying 3 men to the moon. 2 days into the journey, an oxygen tank exploded and they nearly died from the loss of power and the cold and the build-up of carbon dioxide. For 96 hours they struggled to survive in a small tin can somewhere between here and the moon. During re-entry they risked burning up. The radio blackout lasted for 6 minutes, which was 1 minute and 27 seconds longer than anyone predicted. During that time, no one knew if they were dead or alive. I know there must be days when you don't particularly want to try anymore, when the Scylla and Charybdis must lunge and the Pyrenees storm. There must be times when the eye of the needle seems too big a squeeze. for all my books and blades, those things I stick in my ears to hear, my nosy torch rummaging around in your ears, waiting here for you on the other side with cake and a good coat seems the best medicine. There is a bridge over a river nearby that I know. It wobbles when you walk on it. I imagine you crossing it sometimes when I see you. It is though you are venturing out over the water, suspended in mid-air by cables and wires and a row of old boards. People go about their business below, doing all their people things. They think you are just walking along the street like everybody else, but I know you are holding on, measuring each step, taking small leaps of faith, edging your feet out over the drop. One day, you will tell them all. The sun and moon, history, even Homer and his like, that you have come through. Every minute and 27 seconds, I look up to where you might be expected to appear and wonder when it is that you will arrive. The third poem. I hope you're doing okay out there. Is everybody? Maybe people have switched off by now. Who knows? Probably it's a good idea because this poem is like a spoken word piece or a hip hop piece, and I wrote it because I'm an old poet. So I started off writing written poems like those ones that teachers make you study at school and drive you nuts. But working at the clinic, I found out lots of the young people that I was working with weren't reading those, They were listening to hip-hop, rap, spoken word poetry. And it made me jealous. And I thought, oh, man, I want to be able to work in that tradition and see what it's like. After all, it's just another type of poetry. So I thought I would go... There was one young person who loved rap, and I thought I want to write a rap for him. And so I'm going to share that rap with you. His name was Shelby, and this is a rap for Shelby. We'd worked with him getting some orthodontic work because he had difficulty with a couple of teeth that were where they shouldn't be. And they were stopping other teeth from growing out, so we got some help for him. And I used to drive him up to the orthodontist to get his braces adjusted, and now he's got these amazing teeth, and he wants to be a model now. So we would have these talks, and he'd talk about his music, and we'd listen, and I thought, I'd love to write him a rap. So it's called Eruptions, in the way that teeth erupt, and a bit like it's an eruption when you perform a rap, so please forgive me. My daughter won't be able to watch this. I'm an old white man rapping, and I'll forget the words. That's the thing. I can't even remember the words all the time. So if I get mixed up, but no one else is watching. So Eruptions for Shelby. What's up, brother? Sup, brother? Kicking it up and such, brother. Got this pitter patter ripping through the grey matter. Gotta say first up, good to see you. Much love. Better say it twice too. 'Cause everyone is kinda two. I see that in you sometimes, some shadow, some shine, kinda sentence, kinda rhyme, like the light comes through a blind. One brother from the hood, another from the good book. Ali Fraser, doof, doof, uppercut and left hook. See the fight go back and forth, cavalry and crazy horse. Frodo and that bloody ring, Jesus and Gethsemane. I remember that day, holding up the x-ray. One tooth in the way, the other sitting in the shade. Sometimes I think that's just like you. Kinda rough, kinda smooth, I'm cheering for your big heart. For the light to beat the dark, I'm cheering wearing for Red Riding Hood. Gobble up that ugly wolf. Back in the old days, back before the Bible says, for the shit in old ways, other side of Ice Age, we were fish, go figure that. Carry teeth upon our back. Took about 1,000,000 years for them to end up in our head. All I'm saying, roundabout, out of shadow of a doubt, none of us is said and done. Most of us is still to come. Robert Frost came across in the yellow wood once, undisturbed, unperturbed, undercurbed, to pass the vid. To the left, be my guest, to the right, she'll be right. In the wild, crocodile took the one less travelled by. Later made the inference that Later made the inference that made all the difference. Even Moe took stock, travelling on a floating on a top knot. Had to get old school before he got too cool. Had to try the right door, had to do the either or. Had to rub an old jaw, find the man inside the boy. That's all I want to say. Love you, brother, anyway. Be who you were meant to be, right? Be who you were meant to be, right? Your own damn history. This mihi's all done, off the paper, on the tongue. See you one day in the sun. Tahirua toruwha. See you in the by and by. Love you, brother. Coke and pie. I'll see you in the by and by. Love you, brother. Coke and pie. I hope you survived that. Sorry, had to repeat a couple of lines, you know. But you'll be glad to know I'm nearly finished. And I want to finish with another type of poem that I've been writing for little people. Babies that you can rock in your arm. I've always wanted to write some nursery rhymes and lullabies or poetry for children. So I'm going to finish with that. It's a sung poem, and I hope it does in place of a karakia again. And so pretend you're, 2 years old, being rocked in your mum or your dad's arms. And this, I'm writing these poems about New Zealand animals that don't get much glory, the ones that everybody walks past, not things like the tui and the kiwi that the fantail that get all the attention. And this is about a limpet shell, those little shells that cling to rocks at the beach. And they evolved from snails in watery environments, sometimes in rivers, sometimes mostly in the sea. But they're amazing little creatures. And the collection's called Punga's Children. And Punga is the Māori atua of misshapen things that don't look like everybody expects them to look. And I wanted to write, all of us are misshapen in some way and hide our light, and I wanted to write something for a limpet, because limpets are gorgeous too. So next time you see a limpet, this is a song for it. Thanks, have a great summer, have a great new year. I hope it's not as cray-cray as this year, and thanks for putting up with this old white bald man and his try-hard attempts at writing a limpet love song. I know some who fly away. I wonder where they go to. Up above the clouds, they say, over some rainbow. Others I've seen upside down as they go tumbling past, going where the current goes. I prefer those who hold fast. My shell, as you can tell, is small, not far from the ceiling to floor. Inside's a far cry from some fancy whore, but I hold on, I fold on to all I adore. I'm the here inside of there. I'm the toe inside your sock. I'm the thumb been in your chest, a limpet kissing a rock. I am what I am, what I am, and what's more, I will hold on to your heart. I am the you will find in your arms. A limpet is simply a hug. Oh, my shell, as you can tell, is small, not far from the ceiling to floor. Inside's a far cry from some fancy awe, but I hold on, I fold on to all I adore. My shell, as you can tell, is small, not far from the ceiling to floor. Inside's a far cry from some fancy hall, but I hold on, I fold on to all I adore. Yes, I hold on, I fold on to all I adore. Ka nui te mihi ki a koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora.